All right, I'm going to let a few people join before we start. But yes, this is the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. Going to go sort of little hands on, show you what they're all about. First things first. These turned up at my house on like Monday, so I was like trying to keep it all secret and all that sort of stuff because it was supposed to be under embargo, but it all leaked. But hey, whatever. They turn up in two boxes. So there's this one, which actually has its own code name, which is Stockton, and this one, which is Toledo. So yeah, the Toledo is the Series X. So if you're codename people, there you go. They actually had code names for these units. So first things first, these are dummy units, so I can't turn them on. I can't plug them into anything or anything like that. They are just sort of, these are the sort of things that we would, if we were at E3, we'd be fighting with other journalists, like elbowing people out of the way and like trying to get great photos of these units to sort of give you a good idea of the size and what they look like and stuff. So that's what they are. They normally be behind glass. So I'm pretty hyped that I got them in my house. It's kind of cool. Anyway, let's look at the Series X first. So you've probably seen this a bunch, and there's been a bunch of sort of like dummy units sort of floating around anyway. First things first, obviously you've got the sort of grill, and this is where the fans actually housed up the top here. So it's supposed to be a whisper quiet fan. So we'll have to see how quiet exactly that is. But yeah, so I would say I've been playing around with these units for like the past couple of days, and what you'll notice is this is a fingerprint magnet. That's the first thing on the Series X. I don't know whether that's just these units or whether that's the final thing, but they like fingerprints. The Series X one does. So I'll note that. You've also got the drive at the front here, the front USB, and I would say it looks great vertically. But I'd say horizontally, I'm going to put it horizontally now. I don't think it kind of looks a little strange horizontally. I think it was designed primarily for vertical use, which makes sense. But yeah, the stand sort of, I don't know whether the final unit you'll be able to remove this stand. I kind of hope so, really, because it kind of like just hangs at the side there. It kind of looks a little strange horizontally. But anyway, either way, and excuse my messy cables at the back there, I can't get it into that unit. So this is like 15 centimeters tall. So it's going to be pretty difficult to get that into most TV stands, I think, even if you're going to use it horizontally like this. So consider that. And I just consider that it looks best standing up, frankly. But yeah, if we turn it around, you've obviously got the ports at the back. You've got the expansion storage, which is obviously going to have the 1 terabyte carts once they're available. We have to see what the pricing is like on those, because that stuff's probably going to be a little pricey, I think. And then we got the 2 USB ports here, the Ethernet port, and then obviously the power cord in there, and then the HDMI 2.1 out. So pretty standard. You've also got some cooling down the back here as well, but most of the cooling's up on the top there as well. Oops, smash. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I have to say about the Series X. I'd say it looks best standing up. That's my biggest impression. And to be careful when you're like thinking about this thing if you're going to put it in your TV unit, because yeah, it's gonna take some squeezing in. Now, the Series S. This one is super interesting. I'm actually kind of shocked at how small it is. So standing up, it looks good. Also horizontally. Let me get this cardboard box out of the way. Get it out of here. Horizontally, it looks pretty good as well. It's actually it's smaller than the Xbox One. It's the same height as the Xbox One S. It's a little bit tiny bit more. I think it's like a few mil in it than the Xbox One X. So yeah, but the actual volume of it is tiny. Like I'll grab the One X from over there in a minute and show you, but it is it's crazy small. It kind of looks like a speaker. You know what it does look like? It looks like the Xbox adaptive controller, and I think it shares the same design. Obviously, the adaptive controller has the 2 sort of black giant buttons up on the top. But this sort of like speaker, if you will. It's not actually a speaker; it's actually the cooling unit in there. So that's primarily what that is. You've also got cooling down the sides here, and also cooling around that side. You also do have cooling underneath, because obviously when you're standing at vertical, you'll get the cooling there for where the cooling underneath there is blocked. But yeah, you've got a USB port on the front, and obviously the power button. And then here's the ports. I know Microsoft hasn't really shown these. I don't know why they haven't, but Ethernet. You've got your 2 USB, HDMI, and then of course the expansion storage and the power adapter there. I will say a really neat thing that I did notice when I was playing around with them both, is that if you I'm trying to show you, it's got nice little braille bump, so great for accessibility when you're setting your Xbox up and stuff. So pretty neat. Anything you want to know? I'm going to start looking at the comments now because they've been flowing in. Shall I compare it to the One X? I guess I should probably go and grab that. Does the Xbox Series X swivel on the stand? I don't know. I don't think so. But like this unit here does not swivel. But then I'm not sure how like fully representative this is on the stand here, because I genuinely hope that this stand comes off just for when you're horizontally using it. So it's obviously got rubber feet for sort of holding it in place anyway. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that this removes somehow. So because it does, I don't know if you're going to sit at an angle on your TV stand, or if you just, if it's just like that, it's still, this kind of bugs me. I don't know. Maybe I'm being really picky, but it bugs me. Okay, so any other questions about these? I'm going to grab this Xbox One X from over here. I'm going to have to unplug it all. So bear with me. I should have done this before, but it's been a busy week. So let's compare it. So this is the One X, not the One S. And this is the Series S. So I'm going to put it on top and kind of show you. Let's get it nice and lined up. I should really be using 2 hands for this, but okay. There you go. So you can see what I mean about it being so much smaller, both in terms of width and depth as well. If I move the X out of the way a second and try and show you just the height here. So you can see it's ever so slightly taller, but like not by much. And I think it's actually the same height as the Xbox One S. So yeah, it's pretty impressive. I don't know how they've managed to get all of this stuff squeezed into a box this size. It's damn tiny. I'm super impressed. I mean, when I opened it on Monday, I was like, well, literally my first reaction was like, and bearing in mind, like I review a bunch of hardware, I see phones and laptops. I don't really get all that excited about hardware all that often anymore because it's all a bit iterative to me. But I opened this up and I was like, holy shit! Like I was surprised. So yeah. I'd seen some stuff before, but not quite in this final form. So I was kind of surprised. Yeah. So that's pretty much everything I have to show. Really, I can't turn them on obviously because these are dummy units and stuff. What do I think of Tottenham? It's a four-letter word, that. And then what do you think of that 4-letter word? Tottenham. Okay. Anyway, from that side. Any other questions you got? I can try and answer them. But yeah, I mean, I can't turn them on, so that's a big bummer. But is the Xbox Series X too big for most TV units? I would say yeah. I mean, I can't tell you exactly what the gap is on my TV stand here, but I can't fit it in there. Like I can try to show you me trying to fit it in. It's gonna be interesting. But look, it just won't go. Like there's just not enough space. I think it's going to be too big for the vast majority of TV stands, which I think is why like it just doesn't. It just looks a little bit awkward vertically. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being really picky, but I think it looks awkward vertically, horizontally. How heavy is the Series X? So I'm sure they've published that, but I'm not entirely sure on the exact figure. But because this doesn't have all the components inside, it's like, I can pick it up pretty easily. So um, can't really say exactly how heavy it is. Have you got a 3080? Yeah, I do actually. You know what? I should go and grab that and like show it side by side. I'm gonna put my phone down. I'll be back in a minute because I want you to see my messy house. Back in a minute. All right, there we go. This is the 3080. I can probably stand this because it's nice and flat on the bottom now. You can stand it up. Let me put this side by side with the Series S. Ta-da! So you can see they're almost like the same height. I mean, the 3080 is obviously a little bit more, but yeah, next gen PC, next gen Xbox. Yeah, we'll have a review of the 3080 soon, so it's going to be interesting. I think the whole next gen across PC and console is going to be super interesting. I'm super excited about it, to be honest. And like I said, I don't get excited about many things. I'm like a boring old man. Like, it takes a lot to excite me these days. Okay, do I play PC? I do. I play a lot of PC. I mean, I'd say I primarily play PC these days. I jump on the Xbox to like cross-play and like play with old friends that I played with on Xbox before I abandoned them. But I used to build PCs when I was like, I don't know, I think I built my first PC when I was like 12, 11, something like that. I used to be a bit of an idiot. I'd like order PC parts on my mum's credit card and they'd show up and she'd shout at me and yeah. But but yeah, I used to build PCs a lot when I was like a teenager and stuff. So and then I kind of migrated to Xbox because it was just easier and it's simple. I get all that sort of stuff. But I'm definitely way back into the PC gaming thing over the last few years. So. Does the S take the new storage card? It does. I'll show you. It slots in right there. Well, it doesn't say expandable storage on there because of the little vent there, but it does take the expandable storage. It would take the same one. We just don't know the price of that expandable storage yet. That's the only thing. Like there's been some leaks. So it's around $200 for the 1 terabyte drive, which is. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me given what they're using PCIe for in these and stuff. And like, yeah, it's a lot of money. So we'll see what that is. But I mean, if you're gonna buy the S and then you want some extra storage, then you're looking at like kind of like the price of the X at that point. To then have like a terabyte and a half storage. So it's gonna be interesting pricing on that. So price about the external storage. Yeah, we don't know the external storage prices. But I would not be surprised if it's around $200 for the terabyte. Like that seems like a sort of reasonable thing. Do I have to return these? I do, unfortunately. I have to return them at the end of the month. So yeah, I've only got a few more, well, a couple of weeks, I guess, of messing around with them. So, or pretending that I've got a real one, plug some cables in. But yeah, I can't actually plug these in. That's the unfortunate thing. That would be kind of amazing if I could. Could I not use my external storage that I have? You can use external storage, but not for enhanced games and stuff like that. So they're requiring the internal storage or the expansion ports for like anything that's been enhanced and stuff. So if you bring over your old games that aren't that are like Xbox One, those will be fine until they get like updated for like fast loading times and that sort of stuff, because they're basically using the SSD and the velocity architecture and stuff, and a USB plugged in hard drive, those can run at different speeds, and you're not going to get the same experience. They can't. I get why they're kind of forcing you over towards that, and I think the expansion slots are like a good way of doing that, although it's proprietary. And in the PS5, you can obviously use whatever SSD you want. So, like that's pretty neat. But yeah, these are proprietary, so it really is going to matter what the pricing is. Can I show you the back of the Xbox? Do you want to see this one, or do you want to see the? This is the S, the back of it. I can show you the back of the Series X as well. There you go. They got the same slot. Put the S in your entertainment system. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't dusted it, but you know, whatever. There you go. There it is. And then, like, for comparison purposes, I guess. Oh my god. There is the One X below it. There you go. Let me grab that out of there now. But yeah, this fits in easily. Like this is like. I'd like to know as well. They haven't actually said much about that. I'm hoping they're going to say some stuff about that soon, because I'm super curious. Because obviously, although teraflops isn't the the be all and end all of comparisons, but obviously the One X is 6 and this one is 4. But it's different architecture and more refined and stuff. And obviously, I think the biggest thing is, regardless of teraflops and GPU and that sort of stuff, is the CPU and SSD. Like that sort of stuff's gonna really improve this thing, compared to what the One X could have done. Like if the One X had this CPU and SSD, might be a whole different tale. But yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'll go back over that. So if the I don't know where I start. Like you couldn't hear me, but if the One X didn't have, if the One X had a better CPU and SSD, it might be a different story. But I think I think to be honest, I think this is going to perform better than the One X. I don't think that's a problem. And I think that they've basically taken most of the architecture from the Xbox Series X, and put it inside here. There's obviously slower memory, less memory in terms of RAM. You don't need as much RAM, obviously, if you're not targeting 4K. And this is primarily a 1080p, 1440p monitor sort of device. So I think it's going to look pretty neat. And like I'm definitely going to buy one to like sit underneath. Like I have a PC, a big PC gaming rig. I'm actually building another one this weekend. No jokes about the Verge PC guide, please. But I am. I'm going to buy one of these and stick it under my monitor, like for sure. Like if it's going to work great at 1440p, if we believe Microsoft's promises. We'll have to test that obviously, but I think it's going to be pretty neat under the under like if you're a PC gamer, you just want to play some Xbox games or whatever. I mean, the majority of them will obviously be out on PC anyway, but I think it'd be nice to just sit on your desk. It's so cheap. It's pretty crazy. Am I allowed to give you the dimensions of the Series S? Yeah, I have actually. I can't remember them off the top of my head, and I don't have my my tape measure here, but they are in the post that I just published at The Verge. I gave millimeters and inches, so American and Europe. Tom, is the circle centered on the right side? What do you mean? Oh, you mean is it centered here? I mean, it's centered here, yeah. If that's what you mean. Compared to the Switch size. Yeah, sure. Let me grab my Switch. Just turn it off. It's going to be hard to compare, but the Switch is tiny. There you go. What is the purpose of the circle? It's literally the same purpose as here as a fan. So it's cooling. So as you can tell, you can't. It's raised. There's a slight bump to it, and you obviously can't. You're not going to position the Xbox like that, are you? So it's literally designed to keep the unit cool. So you position it like this, or you stand it up like that. So either way, it's keeping it cool. Can I see the back? Everyone wants to see the back again. You guys tuning in late. All right, here's the back. So you got the Ethernet, 2 USB, HDMI, expandable storage, power. And then same, 2 USB, Ethernet, expandable storage, HDMI, power. So pretty the same outputs basically. It's pretty good. It's nice. But yeah, like I'm super impressed with this hardware. Like, I think like I've been speaking to a bunch of people. Like, do you buy the X or the S? Like, I think it's going to depend on what TV you got, what sort of performance you want, and also like whether you're going to get 4K TV at some point. But I'm not. I think this is for like a bedroom TV because like even you don't buy like 50-inch, 55-inch, or 65-inch TVs for your bedroom unless you've got like a mansion. But for like a 32-inch TV that's still 1080p, you're just going to shove this under there and it'll be great. Because it's just so cheap, like £250 in the UK as well. I'm impressed with the pricing and the size. It's crazy. So, yeah. Do you know if the expansion card will be available at launch? I believe it should be available at launch. I'm not sure when they're announcing the pricing of those. I should try and find that out. But yeah, I'm super curious about the pricing. So, I have an 8K TV, so I'm getting Series X. Yeah, I mean that's definitely the way to go. Because obviously it's going to be upscaled at some point there anyway, so you wouldn't want it upscaled from 1440, I don't think. Although I'm curious to see what the upscaling of 1440 to 4K will be like. So, but yeah, £250. I like how you said that, LBS. What is that in American money? It's 299 US dollars. So yeah, 299 US dollars, 250 British pounds. So yeah. All right, cool. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm probably going to wrap this up, and people can just watch the replay for everything else. Do you see them having a Sky Q system in place where if you have both, you could play on the other console? Yeah, I think they probably like Sky obviously does that with the linking, and I've obviously got the Sky Q over there, where it like because like a remote interface back to the main box, and it's just sort of a shell. I don't think they're going to do that, but I think you know what the big thing they're going to do with these consoles is the xCloud integration. I don't think that's going to be like fully there at launch or anything like that. But I think in 2021, like imagine you're on like a crappy connection, which most people are, and you want to try the latest game, you can just literally just start streaming it right before you've downloaded it. So it'll be downloaded in the background. You'll be streaming it at whatever resolution, but like to your TV, and you can just try the game out. Like I think that's going to be if they get that down and it works well, and you just click a button, like damn, that's that's going to be pretty crazy. So it's basically like demoing a game. Yeah, so I think that's what they'll do. And if you want to stream games, like they're going to have xCloud on TVs. Like they're going to cut some deals with Samsung. I'm sure there'll be an xCloud app on TVs. All that sort of stuff. I think it's just coming. They're still baking it all in, and they're obviously going to have xCloud integrated into Facebook Gaming and all that sort of stuff. So I think xCloud is the way forward. And I'd be curious to see whether they put the data centers full of these or full of these. I think we're going to see probably a little bit of a mix, maybe. Yeah, if I PayPal you, can you shop it to me? No, I have to send it back to Microsoft, unfortunately. So no amount of PayPal will convince me to send it to you. What's that strange circle on the bottom of the Series X? That's actually the stand. Yeah, like it stands up on here. And yeah, like I said earlier, I think if you have it horizontal, it kind of looks a little, I don't know, looks a little strange. So yeah. Does it blend? I should try that and then just be like, Microsoft, sorry, I blended it, and here's a smoothie of Xbox. Thanks. All right, cool. Can you remove it? I don't know. I don't think so. Like these are dummy units, so I'm not 100% sure if this is like 100% accurate in terms of like the stand. But I feel like you probably can't. So yeah. Can it do 120 frames per second like Series X? It can do. I mean, it can up to. If you're talking about the Series S, I assume. But it's only going to be at 1440p resolution. So they're going to upscale to like 4K. So, yes. What is the handle on the back? Yeah, I don't know exactly what that is actually. I guess it's just for a bit more cooling, but you can't like get your hands in it or anything, so I don't think it's like a grip. They've also got the Kensington lock on here as well. I didn't mention that. I think that's on here as well. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know exactly what that is actually. I think it's more for airflow and cooling and stuff than anything else. So that would make sense. So how do they look stacked? Oh yeah, I can show you. You know what? I'll show you these two together and this baby. I have to sit back a bit. There you go. The next gen of the only thing I need is a PS5. Damn. Come on, Sony. Give us a price, man. Can you turn it around, put it horizontal? Okay. I'm gonna do this one last time and then stream. I'm gonna have to cut the stream. Because we've gone through a lot of this, so okay, this one. You know what? I'll just stack this one on top of the X so you can sort of see that as well. Okay. There they are together. I tell you what, one thing that is interesting, actually, that I probably didn't mention earlier, if I put these back up here, is if you put the Series S on top of the X, it's actually just a little under. See, you could have two, about half the size, but it like perfectly fits together. So it's kind of like half the size, half the power. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out in terms of power. So I sound like Jez. Yeah, well, we're both British, so which is the best thing you can be in life. Can the X logo switch? No, yeah, actually that's a good point. So yeah, there goes the switch. Goodbye, switch. So yeah, the orientation of the logo is, I think you can tell in the way that these were designed and the way that they're supposed to slot into your home entertainment system. This logo is like this, so that suggests you sit it like this horizontally. This logo is like this, which suggests that yes, you sit it vertically. Subtle little hints of the design and choices from Microsoft that kind of show you the way that they think that these are going to sort of exist in your living room. So, and I think that looks way better standing up than it does on this side. And this, I think it looks good either way. But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool sitting horizontally. What's the most innovative design element on it? I think really it's the size. Like it's just crazy small. This thing is like tiny. See the more powerful GPU into the size of this thing. I think that's pretty impressive. They've been doing some pretty good hardware work. Like the Xbox One was like a VCR. It was ugly, bulky, and they obviously were worried about power, cooling, and all that sort of stuff. But the One S was great, and the One X even better. But yeah, this is just leapfrogged it again. So, what is your Xbox One X color? It's like a blend between the white, like silvery white, and black. So, does the S have rubber feet on the table side? Yeah, so it has rubber feet here, and then obviously on the bottom as well. So you can just flip it up to be horizontal. So yeah, okay. Last questions. Yeah, I bet you want to play it. Yeah, I do. I really do. But I can't plug them in because they're just dummy units. There's nothing inside them. Although this one's definitely heavier than this one, which obviously is not going to be. This is obviously going to be heavier in the rear, but they've obviously got some stuff stuck in here or whatever. So, yeah. Okay, cool. This is the pairing button for the controllers. So you just hit that and pair your button. So, yeah. All right. Cool. I'm going to leave the stream here. Thanks for joining. Any other questions, just tweet me. I'll try and reply. But, I mean, obviously, visit theverge.com. I've done a couple of hands-on here. We're also going to post some photos of these, the Series S and the Series X, plus the RTX 380 together. Shame I don't have the PS5, but like no one does, so that's cool. But yeah, once we get the PS5 in, we'll definitely be doing comparisons between all three. So it's super exciting. I'm like super excited about the next gen. I think it's, although the great games, like there's no like graphically amazing games yet, I think just the CPU and the SSD alone is going to be worth upgrading. Like I think if you're not used to fast loading times that you have on an SSD on the PC, you're going to be blown away, because it's like you don't have to sit there and go and have a coffee when you're waiting for your game to load. It just loads. So it's going to be that alone will be worth it, I think. Aside from all the other power, so it's going to be fun. All right, cool. Thanks for joining, and I will see you guys in the next one.